Que pasa, everybody? So what today we're going to be discussing is we're almost a quarter of the way through the year. So I thought tonight's live stream would deal with your favorite figures so far from a photogenic figure perspective, of course, of the year of 2024. What came out in January, February, and March that you're crazy stoked about. So that's the question for tonight's live stream, and that's the question for the replay crew. So there you go, folks. That's what we're talking about this fine evening. We also last week started discussing some Thursday themes that we're going to do as far as photos are concerned. Now, I'm not starting it this week or next week, but Thursday themes will start up the following week. This week, I've got, we've got the Easter coming. There's not going to be a newsletter either. That's 2 weeks in a row. I might need help. Don't worry. We're bringing it all back. But yeah, so we're going to start those in a couple weeks from tonight. So be on the lookout. I'll make sure to announce those in the newsletter. And I'll also talk about it some on our whole, when we're discussing the figures of the past week on our Monday streams. So that's what we've got. Now, as far as what I can add to the discussion, one of the things that I have to say when it comes to figure collecting and when it comes to what our favorites are of the year, I haven't gotten a lot. And for me, it's kind of about what I've picked up or what I've gotten as far as what my favorites of the year are. And I've only gotten 7 figures so far. So I'm thinking I'll talk some about them, but I think the discussion largely is going to be up to you guys pulling this stuff off, because man, oh man, I'm not sure I have a large enough sample size to really make the discussion all about me. Fortunately, we have Rekship in the chat. Oh, Mr. Rekship had a big pre-order week. Airborne, Big Boa, Quick Kick, Recondo, and Scarlet Spider. Oh, that's nice. That's very nice. Scarlet Spider, specifically if it's the Mayfix version, because I'm fancy. But Quick Kick and Big Boa, I'm going to need to pick those up as well. You know the drill. Extra hands. And Quick Kick, even as I think actually they both got extra hands and extra heads. This is the kind of thing I love seeing from Classified. Now, that's not to downplay how great Recondo and Airborne look. It's just, the rules when it comes to me. But man, Big Bow and Quick Kick, I can't wait to get those. And Scarlet Spider, for a legend, I think he looks pretty good. I'll give him a little bit of credit there. It's not very nice. It feels like a qualifying term that I shouldn't be qualifying with. Mr. Spencer, yep, I got most of those, plus Ken, Ryu, and Casey Jones comic version. Very nice. Are you talking the Mirage, Casey? Like the NECA Eastman and Laird red shirt? Because, yeah, I'm trying to see if I've got him. He is not on the table, but I do have him, and I really dig that figure. Let's see. Somehow I picked up 40 figures this year. Not all from this year. There's always that caveat. Like last year, I started strong with, I'd gotten a few, like I'd gotten 2 or 3 in January and February, I think, from 2023. But then I loaded up on figures from the year prior, from 2022. So then you're kind of going, how do I count that? Is that this year? Is that last year? What do I do? Yeah, I guess we'll just stick with January, February, and March for this fine discussion. Rekship, I already have like half a dozen Quick Kick photos prepped. Got a photo homage with Big Boa and Quick Kick ready to go tomorrow morning. Hope people like it. I will be sure to check it out. I haven't been on Instagram as much as I'd like to be on there. So, in fact, I probably got messages I need to check. I've been on my other Instagram page while I've been doing the whole schlepping for gigs, which I'm getting. I'm getting some gigs lately. So hopefully we'll be adding some more figures to the collection here sometime very soon. Kind of stoked about that. Tomorrow, in fact, is going to be pretty much an all photo day just from projects for other people. See, yep, NECA Mirage, Casey. Not red shirt, gray. That's all right, man. Gray looks good too. I like I really like what NECA is doing as far as the turtles are concerned. I want to load up on the comic stuff, and not just Mirage. I want all the comic stuff. Like right now, I would say technically, if I'm looking at my figures, I've got 5 NECA figures out of the 7 that I've picked up or that I've gotten this year. And I really love the feel of this last Ronin Raphael still. Like, this thing is just really good. I didn't get the beat up, bloodied up version. I'm not sure if I'm going to. I kind of like the idea of, I mean, these are almost futuristic looks for the turtles. So just getting the 4 mains and, of course, getting a bunch more, maybe not bloodied up and dead versions. But yeah, it's a feel that feels unlike other stuff I've gotten from NECA. So I don't know how to say it other than that. Probably of these figures that I've gotten this year, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. I do tend to get stuff that I really like. That's what makes my top 10s really difficult at the end of the year. Although I better step it up. I might not have 10 figures by the end of the year to do a top 10 for. It's not true. I will fix that. See, what are you thinking about those goofy Transformer crossover figures Hasbro just dropped? What was there? I saw they're re-releasing the Ecto-1 Transformer, but I don't know. Oh, wait, the Turtles, right? Is that what you're talking about? Like you can buy 4 of those, whatever turtle. What was it called? I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, I did see that. Like I caught a little bit of that while I was working on the couch. I caught a little bit of that live stream, and I saw the turtle van thing. I don't know. I've never been the crossover guy. I think the best one they did, just because it was funny, was the one where they combined Megatron with Frankenstein. I thought that one was kind of funny. Most of them, yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of most of them. Doesn't mean they're bad. Others might really dig them. Let's see. Evening, Mr. Manson. Thank you for stopping by, man. Topic tonight. What are your favorite figures thus far of 2024? Because, we're almost done with the first quarter, which is insane. Let's see. What are you thinking? That's all. I mean, I just kind of gave up the thoughts. I don't know enough. There might be stuff that I don't know about that they talked about too. Herman Gallegos, thanks for stopping by, man. Retro Duke and animated series Daredevil were both top notch. Nice. I think Retro Duke looks really good, but here's one thing I can't get out of my head, and I haven't made like a file yet to show it. Because again, like I said, I don't want anybody to think I'm taking a shot here. I do think Retro Duke looks really good. Here's the thing. If you look at his face sculpt, if you look at the portrait, if any of you are football fans, he looks like Aaron Rodgers, which totally throws me off. I'm completely thrown by the fact that Duke looks like Aaron Rodgers. And if nobody knows who that is, I'll find a picture. We'll talk about Aaron Rodgers / Duke. And that Daredevil is probably the best Daredevil that's ever been released. I really like what they've done with the comic colors on that. I haven't gotten Last Ronin Raph. I should. Just so much coming out. I know. And that's one of the problems I have too, is I've got a little bit of money saved, but I don't want to start a rabbit hole necessarily, and then there's so much other good stuff in the lines that I like to get that I'm just going, oh man, what do I do here? Like it's tough to make those decisions. Pushing buttons. You can always tell when it's a struggle for me to find things. Wreckship. Herman, I want that animated DD, but that cell shading is just bleh to me. See, I think that's probably the best cell shading that Legends has done. I know that it's not everybody's cup of tea, but most of it's just really bad. That one you can see that they tried, and I think that adds something to it. See, Turtle 1 sold out on Pulse already. Are you kidding? Wow. Well, I mean, it does seem like the Turtles have an insanely huge fan base, so I can see that. Miss Cogsmith, ahoy, Dave. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday to you, too. Thanks for stopping by. What figures do you have that you think are the best so far of the year? Because, photos and figures. And I'm going to squeak more. Mr. Spencer, it's decent. Not sure I'll pull the trigger. Only one I got was the Back to the Future one. Yeah, I thought that one was cool, but I never would have transformed it. I would have just left it as a DeLorean because I always dug that DeLorean. Design was good, even if the car wasn't great. Let's see. Herman, it wasn't that bad. I agree with you, Herman. I don't think it's that bad. Let's see. Airborne, M. Bison, Mezco, Snake Eyes. Those are the tops, huh? M. Bison, I think, looks really good. Like, he looks better than he deserves to look for 25 bucks. That dude's insane. And the Mezco Snake Eyes, ooh. I think my only thing with him, and one of the things is something, it's kind of the same deal as my Mafex Thor, where Thor's too small, Snake Eyes looks like he's too tall, especially when you compare him next to the Mezco Roadblock, which also seems too small, I guess. I don't know. But there's also the little bit of the leathery look on the, like, if it weren't for the little bit of the leather, I might have pulled the trigger on that Snake Eyes. I think he looks really good. And I like the Storm Shadow too. I need to look at him a little more. But M. Bison, the pictures I've seen people take, he looks incredible. Like he might be, I mean, he is a necessity. He's Jada's Street Fighter 2 line. Anything Jada, like I've said, I'd like to get a hold of. But yeah, man. I mean, those are some solid picks. And Airborne looks great. I always love that color combination on him. Mr. Matson, yeah, I don't like retro Duke's head sculpt. See, I grew up a 49ers fan, and in the 90s, the Green Bay Packers were my mortal enemy to the point where when There's Something About Mary came out, I loved Cameron Diaz just because she said I'm a Niners fan, and Brett Favre was out. He's gone. That movie, it was lovely. But yes, that's Rodgers. He's got to go. We got to do something about that. Maybe replace the Rodgers head with the first Duke's head. I still think that first Duke's head is solid. See, the new Mongor from Super 7 is a big fave for me. Changing his heads is not fun, though. Too much spiky hair to get a good hold. Mongor from Super 7. I might need to look that one up. Which line is he in? This is me not knowing my Super 7 very well. I'm sorry. I'm a bad nerd. Mr. Spencer, I think Mutt and Junkyard are favorites of the year, with Wolf Spider coming in next, though the Jada Mega Man line is good. Yeah, I've seen Mutt and Junkyard. I've been very tempted to pull the trigger on them too. And yeah, man, Wolf Spider looks good. I need those Mega Man figures. Like, I love G.I. Joe, but when it comes to what Jada's doing, it's really hard for me to not say, okay, I love you, G.I. Joe, but Street Fighter 2, Mega Man, all the things that are just so good. It's hard. It's hard. It's a hard rain's gonna fall. Harry, have you seen the Frazetta Girls Tigra yet? I did. And full color images and all that stuff. So I noticed no waist articulation. There's still no bicep swivel, but she did look like her shoulders, even though I don't think we're looking at butterfly joints. She did look like her shoulders are going to be, this is me totally, showing off all my crazy articulation. Like you guys don't have it also, but like they'll be able to do a little bit of this just because of the cut. So yeah, she looks really good. I'm just not sure she's necessarily in my wheelhouse. Mr. Matson, the 3-pack Daredevil is the best ever released. I don't like the cell shading figures, and I tend to agree with you on that. But they did do a better job on the recent Daredevil, I think, than most. In fact, he's the first one that I looked at and thought, all right, that's not bad. Mr. Savage, what's up, folks? Good evening. Good evening to you, too. We're discussing our favorite figures so far, since the first quarter is almost about done. of 2024. As far as best figure of the year so far, I have to go with the best vehicle of the year, the Vamp. Stop saying the Vamp is so good. I'm going to have to pull the trigger and go find one on the secondary now. Yeah, jerk. I'm kidding. But yeah, the Vamp does look really good. So that's one of those where I was trying to figure out, do I get this? Do I get that? Do I get, all that stuff? And the Vamp just fell through the cracks. But might have been a mistake. I'm starting to think basically if it's a vehicle and it says G.I. Joe, I just need to pull the trigger based solely on the HISS tank. Because, yeah, man, everything I've seen from that Vamp, people are having a blast with it. Still waiting for my Slayer figure to arrive, but I'm excited for him. Slayer. Oh, man. This is me. I don't know things. Slayer is in the band? Or Slayer is in another figure that I'm again, bad nerd. Adjustments need to be made on my nerdiness. I might need to do like a weekend retreat so people can start beating brilliant nerd stuff into my head. I don't know. Mr. Savage just got my Blitzway Carbots Voltron, and to say it's glorious is a huge understatement. Oh, that is a beautiful figure. Yeah, that one, I don't know if I can even call that a figure. It's so much out of the ballpark of everything else. Not just, I'm not even talking price-wise. I'm talking all the stuff, all the shine on that thing. It's huge. It's glorious. Mr. Spencer Wreckship. The Vamp is good and worth the money, but I was a little disappointed in parts of it, and I think the Vanguard will blow it away, and I'm trying to drum up money for the Ramen Racer. Ooh, the Vanguard. See, okay, so I think I've told you guys, but my issue with the Dragonfly wasn't actually an issue. It was just a preference where it looked almost too realistic to be a G.I. Joe vehicle. So I thought, I'll pass, plus most of the characters didn't come with extra hands. I'm good. But the Vamp is quintessential G.I. Joe, and that tends to be, I tend to lean more towards that, but that isn't to say I don't think the Vanguard is going to be great. I need a gray Vanguard. A gray Vanguard would be a blast, because there is something to be said about adding some realism to all these spandex-clad figures I've got. And the Vanguard would just be really good with that, too. Mr. McDysentery. McDysentery. Beetlejuice. Whoop. I've said it 3 times. If Michael Keaton shows up behind me, let me know. I'm going to need to see that sequel, by the way. Apparently, Jenna Ortega is saying she's not going to be like Lydia's character, so we'll have to see. Harry, Mafex Tiger Stripe Wolverine, Mezco, a Red Eyes Void Cadet Gomez said so far. Okay, that Void Cadet Gomez does look really good, and you know that I'm gonna say Tiger Stripe Wolverine is awesome. Do we count him though? Was he initially a 2019 release? I can't remember, but yeah, I'll give it to you on that Space Cadet Gomez for sure. Mr. Madsen, I wouldn't know about Mezco Storm Shadow. I fully paid for mine a year ago, direct from Mezco. I was told they were shipping March 11th. Nothing yet. I hate Mezco distribution. I have heard things when it comes to Mezco's distribution. The thing I'm having a problem with right now, my head got really huge in the screen. Here, I'm making an adjustment. Hi. Hey, everybody. The thing that's driving me crazy is I have 2 outstanding orders out with one company. And one of them is the MDLX Rodimus, and the other is the Mafex Poison Ivy, which anyone in the whole world that's ordered those has them already. And they've had them for a couple months. And so I'm getting kind of antsy, and I don't want to sit there and say, look, guys, you're going to have to do something here. But I'm kind of worried that if I miss out, I'm not going to be able to find them all that easily. And this place that I have them with, I have it on store credit. So I'm going to have to say, if you can't fulfill the orders, cool beans, I'm good. But I want an actual refund, because using your store credit from before doesn't seem to be getting me what I want. It's tough. Mezco, though, you at least know you're going to get it eventually. It's not like ordering from Walmart. You know, Mezco, you get an order in, and Mezco's like, all right, we'll get it to you 5, 6 years later. Mr. McDysentery. Literally nothing compares to Jada toys at the $20 Mega Man and $25 Street Fighter price point. Simply amazing what they're pulling off, and they make the big boys look bad in comparison. You know, I think that's true in a lot of cases. I will say that I don't want to be too harsh when it comes to G.I. Joe. When it comes to Star Wars Black Series, when it comes to McFarlane, when it comes to Marvel Legends, sure, I am 100% down with what you just said. I might even be 110% down. Impossible math. I love it. But there's also the G.I. Joe factor to consider. And as a line, I'm going to give it to Street Fighter 2 and Mega Man simply because what they come with, all the stuff they have, how great the figures are across the board is consistently awesome. When it comes to G.I. Joe, they're starting to sprinkle in things like hands and extra heads. So I would say across the board, Jada's got it. But when G.I. Joe hands us those extra heads and hands, I think it's pretty close. I think it's pretty close to a tie. That's the only line, though. Aside from that, if it's Jada, it's gold. Wreck ship. Wow, Dave, didn't know you got butterfly shoulder joints. I know, man. I got them installed. It was around, I think, 2009, 2010s when they came out. So I wanted to hold back. I didn't want to be one of the first ones to get that surgery. So what I did was I waited till 2012, 2013, somewhere in there. I can't remember. I'd have to go back and look at my insurance claim, find out when the actual surgery was. But yeah, man. I mean, I waited. I know that those first people that had shoulder joints, like the butterfly joints installed, they were kind of creaky. Arms were falling out of their socket. Not a good scene, but I waited long enough where so far my butterfly joints are holding up. Okay, this one might need a little help. Hold on. All right, we're good now. So far, the surgery's taking well. Harry, anyone take advantage of the BBTS, Mafex, Cyclops, and Magneto deal? Ooh, I did not because I haven't been online as much, so I didn't even know. I probably have a message about that in my Instagram. You guys have been so awesome about sending me Instagram messages, and I've been so bad about reading them just because I've been so busy. So if that did happen, hopefully, well, I mean, I'm sure it did happen. Hopefully you guys jumped on it and got them. I've got Cyclops and Magneto, so by the way, that Magneto is incredible. Cyclops does have his hangups, and you've heard about him, I'm sure, when you've seen any reviews about him, but that Magneto is, bar none, for my cash anyway, the best Magneto on the market. Period. Done. End of story. Of course, I'm predisposed to dig Mafex. Miss Cogsmith, yes, Slayer the band. They made 2 figures now of the Goat Warrior from the Show No Mercy album cover. Okay. And that was, sorry, is that Reaction or is that Ultimates? Because, yeah, I'd be into checking those. If they're Ultimates, maybe just giving them a look. Let's see, standard color scheme and a full black variation with extra parts if ordered through Super 7. Huh. So I'm assuming we're talking Ultimates then. Let's see, you saying you have a big head? It's huge. It's got its own planetoid. I don't know that that line makes sense, or if I even said the line right. I got my Mafex Poison Ivy from Ami Ami before Christmas. That's what I'm saying. Like, everybody started getting Poison Ivy at the end of last year, and we're almost done with the first quarter of this year. I have a feeling I'm going to have to send an email. See, I've only ordered weapons from Mezco. Got it reasonably quick, but they were in stock. Yeah, that was the same when I got the Double Trouble. I think we talked about that too. Pushing the buttons. Jada has been killing it. Classified has been doing great stuff also, as for domestic lines. Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's what I'm saying, man. It's hard to sit here and say that Jada, I do say as a line, anything Jada's doing is better right now than classified, only because they have the standard accessories that come with everything. So you know what you're getting, and you're getting great stuff. Ooh, excuse me. The one problem with GI Joe is you don't have like every figure's not coming with an extra set of hands and a head, you know, and like an extra head along with a few weapons like Jada is. If they actually, for me, and I know this isn't everybody's cup of tea, but for me, if Classified made sure that you always got an extra head and an extra set of hands, and at the same time, just backed off a little bit on the weapons, not too much, but backed off just a touch, then I think that we could make the argument that Classified is up there when it comes to Jada, I guess, when it comes to the $25 lines. G.I. Joe Classified is the only line that consistently comes close to the value of Jada Toys Street Fighter. Those figs are generally loaded with accessories, way more than Legends or Black Series. And that's true. That's true. They are. I don't think that there's any other $25 line that even, I was going to say tries, but I knew that wasn't at all what I meant. So strike that from the record, Your Honor. Mr. Savage, my Mez TMNT arrives next week from EE. I think it will be great, but I don't see it topping Blitzwave Voltron. Man, you know what, though? The Mezco TMNT figures, there's a reason I put those in the thumbnail. Everyone that's gotten them has said how great they are. And I considered pulling the trigger until I saw that I know that in the description, because this would have made my decision right away, and it did make my decision right away. When I read in the description they were 6.5 inches tall, I was like, nope, I'm out. That's way too big for my collections. And I was totally happy with that. Then I start seeing the reviews, and they're actually sized pretty much perfectly for the collection. Now I'm a little bummed out. And they look great. And people are universally saying how awesome they are. So to be honest, I expected a lot of people to be in here saying, yeah, the Mezco Turtles are probably number one. But I haven't been too jealous yet because nobody's really brought them up until you. Yeah, I think you're going to dig them. Everything that I've seen online, people dig them. I think you're right that it won't top the Voltron, but they might be just about the best turtle figures out there. So it'll come close. You've got probably arguably the best Voltron. I think you'll have arguably the best turtles too. Spaded one, but seriously, Dalsim and M. Bison are game changers at $25. Wired cloth capes, swappable parts. Dalsim puts any Mr. Fantastic to shame in a dunce hats. Yeah, I can't believe all the stuff that Dalsim comes with. It's insane. Like you're saying here, $25 just almost seems, compared to even what Jada's doing, $25 almost seems low. And I don't like saying stuff like that. I don't want to give anybody ideas. But yeah, I'm gonna, I gotta, these are figures I have to find. I've got to do it soon. It's driving me nuts. And I didn't even know, I don't know why, but I didn't notice that M. Bison had the wired cape until it was pointed out to me in the last stream. And now I've seen photos of it, and I'm going, oh, that's good, especially for $25 when the whole world tells us, oh, man, if we start adding cloth goods like capes, we're going to have to balloon the price. So, yeah, Jada's doing its thing, and it's making a lot of companies. I have to think they're sweating if the companies care enough. Remember that action figures aren't a huge percentage of what Hasbro does, for instance. I think Hasbro's in 16 different toy categories or game categories. All the categories they're in, I think there's 16 of them. Action figures are a drop in that bucket, especially when you start breaking them into individual lines. So, yeah, if Hasbro starts caring about it, but I'm not sure they need to. So who knows? Hey, Dave in chat. It's been a minute and I'm late. We're all angry about it, Tragic. You got to drop, give us 20 push-ups. Then you have to run around a track like 5 times. Don't do that. That'll take way too long. I think in high school it took me like 8 or 9 minutes. Today, I don't think I can do it at all. Thank you for showing, man. You're good. Mr. Savage. Hey, Tragic. Welcome back, dude. See that? This is how we roll. I appreciate it, guys. Appreciate everybody being so cool. Tragic. My 2 Techno Vipers came in. Haven't had a chance to open one of them. Also, big loot score from Hasbro and BBTS. Picked up 2 Displacer Beasts and 2 Eye of the Beholder. Also, Shipwreck and Copperhead. Nice, nice. That Shipwreck is, even though he doesn't have extra hands, he is tempting. And I think the Displacer Beast and the Eye of the Beholder's figures, I think they look good. Like, I'm not into really branching outside of what I'm collecting right now, but just as figures, those things look really good. But anyway, Tragic, we're discussing kind of the best figures of the year so far. So what do you got? What's your favorite stuff? Jericho, thanks, man. Feels good to be back. Also, we have to rip on Aaron Rodgers' Duke some, a little more tonight. Mr. Spencer, I accidentally ordered 2 of Airborne, 1 Hasbro Pulse and 1 from Amazon. Sometimes I'm a dummy head. Yeah, I'm lucky. I've somehow, like you say, somehow I can see that happening very easily. And somehow I've never done it. And I think maybe it's because the stuff that I pre-order tends to be a little pricier. So I'm a little more careful with that kind of thing. But on the other hand, there's other stuff. Like, I could totally see me getting 2 M Bisons in the mail at some point just because I didn't notice quantity. So I think, yeah, maybe pay more attention, but it seems to me that that's an easy mistake to make. I keep hearing other people say they do it too. Let's see. I did that with Sergeant Slaughter and the last Ronin when they came out too. Nice. What do you think of the last Ronin? Like, I'm assuming you're talking about the armored up one, right? I want to know about that figure because I've seen him out and about. I've been tempted. I really like Raphael, but I don't know about the last Ronin figure itself. Okay, hold on. Now we're gonna do this real quick. I'm gonna do this. Don't worry, you'll know what's up here in a minute. All right, let's see. Oh my gosh, open, you fiend. I'll have this right back to you. Don't worry. I want to see. Dang it. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm opening up. I'm trying to find a file with Aaron Rodgers' head so you can see what I'm talking about with Duke. But it's been kind of difficult. Hold on. Here we go. Okay. Here's an Aaron Rodgers head. Now I'm going to go to, and don't worry, I know that I have to come back to the chat and let you guys see what I'm looking at. Let's see. Giorgio classified. Retro Duke. Okay, Duke, where are you? And I didn't notice it for the pre-order screens, so my guess is it wasn't so obvious there. Yeah, there we go. Okay. All right, coming back. Don't worry. Here we go. Rodgers! He's the enemy. Green Bay Packers and Dallas Cowboys are the enemy. Green Bay Packers are the enemy because they're evil. Cowboys are the enemy because they're the Cowboys. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you. Hang on. Dang it. I gave you the wrong window. All right. Stop screen. I need to learn how to drive better. Let's see. Is this it? That's it. All right. This is Aaron Rodgers. He's now a quarterback for the New York Jets, although that's going to be debatable. We'll wonder if he actually plays and all that stuff. I haven't paid tons of attention to the NFL recently. You can tell what my searches are off to the side there too, by the way. But I don't know necessarily if he's even going to play this year. It seems like things are questionable for Rodgers, but that's Rodgers. All right. And now we're going to get out of there. And there's Duke. I'm telling you, they used Aaron Rodgers to make Duke's head sculpt. And this isn't even as obvious as what I've seen in other photos. But yes, Duke is Aaron Rodgers. And so that adds another layer of my dislike for the character Duke. Don't worry, I still think the figure's really good, but the character himself is evil and must be stopped. However, Aaron Rodgers is also evil and must be stopped because he used to be a Packer. So basically, Hasbro's not doing any favors here. They're making me hate the character of Duke by making him look like Aaron Rodgers. Who is with me and who thinks this guy looks disturbingly like Aaron Rodgers? And now I'm going to go back and catch up. Armored Last Ronin is very good. Oh, man. I didn't want to hear that. Now I'm going to have to get him. But I'll be honest, he was probably in the plans anyway. When my Mezco Storm Shadows come, I'll get two. I accidentally ordered two. I usually accidentally order one. But yeah, I think he'll look good. He looks pretty cool to me. All the weapons he should have, can store them all, multiple hands and options, very worth it in my opinion. Would have been my top figure of the year he came out if I did that then. 2022, I think. Oh, man. I've seen him do really well on a bunch of the lists when it came to that year, when people were talking about their figures of the year. Let's see. Agree on the Cowboys. Good man, Mr. Spencer. America's team indeed. Miss Cogsmith, Armored Last Ronin is one of the next figures I'm zeroing in on. Oh, see, everybody knows. It seems I'm late to the Armored Last Ronin party, but yeah, he looks good. See, I think NECA D&D Elkhorn is fantastic. Ooh, that's one I didn't think of. But just the fact that he comes with so much stuff, like Elkhorn looks really good. That's a good call. I'm going to D&D. I saw Grimsword the other day at my LCS, and I might need to pick him up. See, I hadn't looked at him, but yeah, he looks great. Yeah, D&D. It's tough. I'd like to load up on those guys. Let's see. He sent you a side by side to pick up Duke and Aaron. Good man. Might be able. Hold on. All right. We're just going to find this right now. Oops, see, that's me. That's me and my others. Let's see. Oh, good Lord. You guys have been totally awesome sending me stuff. I got to get better at this. Yeah, there it is. Hold on. Let's shut this down real quick. All right, courtesy of the good Mr. Matson, we have Aaron Rodgers and Duke. I'm telling you, they used Aaron Rodgers to make Duke's head happen. That is why, well, one of the many reasons that Duke is evil and must be stopped. He still can be bought, but he needs to be the butt of all the G.I. Joe photo jokes. That's all. That's all I'm saying. He looks like a great figure, but he's got Aaron's head. Oh, see, yeah, it's awesome. Dang. Elkhorn, yep. D&D. Agree on them looking alike and Aaron Rodgers being evil. Fantastic. It sounds like you and I, we could talk some football a little bit. I haven't been in it like I used to be, but we're on the same wavelength here. I like it. Also, I suggest the last Ronin comic is really, really good. I've had that in my hands so many times, and it's another one of those, man, okay, where do I spend the money? But I do want to check that out for sure. Oh man, I just got done working out. Nice. So the 20 push-ups, you're sitting there thinking to yourself, no. See, I promise to on time next time. 2024, let's see, pickups. Mezco Snake Eyes. Storm Shadow arrives tomorrow. Nice. And 2V Toys White Shadow Ninjas to accompany Storm Shadow. That's going to make for some fun shots, man. That's going to be very cool. Let's see. That's okay. Okay. So those were the pickups. Obviously, you're digging Snake Eyes. And he's good stuff. Like I say, man, Snake Eyes looks good. See, I'm a Bears fan. I can't stand Rodgers, but thank goodness I don't see the resemblance. I'm telling you, look for, you're going to find other pictures. Like I said, I didn't notice it so much in the original solicitations. I've been drinking. It's tea, but still, I didn't notice them in the original solicitations. I didn't notice the likeness so much. But people have been taking pictures, and I'm getting more close-up views of him. And if you look for pictures of Retro Duke, you're going to be sad, because as a Bears fan, yeah, man, you're not going to be liking Duke so much. You're going to be like me, wanting to make him the butts of the G.I. Joe photo pictures. I love that Retro Duke's head sculpt. Very stoic. No, it's stoic like Aaron Rodgers. That's the problem. Huh. Anywho, we're going to go to the next one. But you're right. I mean, he does have more of that leaderly kind of just go with the flow, go with whatever vibe going on. See, I see people using Retro Duke head for a custom General Hawk. Ooh, Colonel Hawk. That probably would work. Do they have... Okay, never mind. I was going to ask if they have just a green body, but they've got Breaker at least. And then... Oh, man. I haven't even been eating that bad, and here I am with all sneezing going on. Okay, yeah. Breaker has the green body, so I would think you could pop his head onto there. And then there's Clutch. Clutch always had his own look apart from the OG-13, though. And I could see getting General Hawk and then popping that Duke's head on there. Yeah, but then what happens to Duke? Nothing. He's just not there anymore. Me and my Duke hate. I'm almost thinking it's unnecessary, yet it brings me so much joy. Yeah, Snake Eyes has been fun. He looks good. I haven't seen any pictures of him. Now, I think you guys have probably heard me say any character that's dressed in black is kind of a photogenic cheat code. But yeah, man, I haven't seen any pictures of that Snake Eyes that I don't think look good. I've got another Mezco Snake Eyes photo for Snake Eyes Saturday. I used a comic book cover for inspiration. A comic book cover or the comic book cover? Are we silent issuing this? These are the things we need to know. I think you've already done a silent issue cover, haven't you? Can't remember. Tragic. If I painted his head and put a beard on him, then maybe I can see it. That's it. Just do a little bit of this, the whole dry brush thing, just along his chin line, beard line, I guess. Chin line? Is chin line even a thing? I know there's a chin strap. Oh boy. Me and words. That should be... Here's what I'm going to do tonight, guys. I'm going to show you how to composite a side-by-side with Aaron Rodgers and Duke's head so you can see that they're actually the same person. It's just one's blonde. Yeah. So, okay, we've got a consensus here that Jada Toys is pretty much crushing it. I've seen a couple people talk about the Mezco Snake Eyes. The turtles have been brought up, and I expected them to be brought up more. I'm kind of surprised, actually. Then there was the Blitzwave Ultron, brought up by the same Savage, which is just ridiculously cool. That thing's so cool. I honestly have trouble even putting them in the same category as the rest of this stuff. But yeah, if we were to put them in here, so we've got some definite figure of the year nominations here so far. If you guys were to make a top 10 right now, let's say, you know what, because like I only have 7 so far, like I said. So let's say if you guys were to make a top 5 figures so far, maybe even a top 3, just however many, give me a top. Which ones would they be? Maybe I need the help so I can decide where to spend the money. Mr. Matson, no, I used a special missions. I did every panel of issue 21 with 6-inch figures back in 2022. I thought that you'd done that, like that you did the silent issue, but yeah, I couldn't remember for sure. And I don't know, I might need to go back and see if you did, or if you did. I know you did. I might need to go back and find those. I assume those are on Instagram because that would be fun to just check out. Project. I do want to pick up the Jada first wave of Mega Man. I do too. I haven't gotten any of those yet. Those look really good. Like I said earlier, man, if it says Jada, I want to give it a go. See, number 1, Quick Kick. Nice, Wreck Ship. That's cool to hear. Or cool to read, I guess. Now I'm going to have to keep my eyes open since I didn't really pre-order anything. In fact, I'm not sure. I don't have any pre-orders right now. Who am I? Mr. Spencer, did mine, Mutton Junkyard, Wolf Spider, Mega Man. Expecting that to change since I've got Quick Kick and all waiting to be opened. Nice. Yeah, Mutton Junkyard is so tempting. And Wolf Spider looks awesome. If it weren't for my he doesn't have extra hands rule, I would get him because I like when they go out and they make new characters. I always dig that kind of thing. Mr. Manson, yep, but it's easier to watch the video I did with the panels on IG and YouTube. Okay, cool beans. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. If I'm going to go with just the figures I have, man, it's tough because all the Usagis are cool. I'll tell you what, I'll give you my bottom. I'll give you my number 7, and I'll never say I'll give you my bottom on a live stream again. But my number 7 figure is Skeletor here. I like this Skeletor. I really do, but he doesn't compare to anything else that I've gotten this year that's on the desk. But I have to say, I keep seeing like Motu released a bunch of the stuff that they're going to release, I guess, later in the fall or something. A lot of it looked really good. And I always toy with the idea. I toy with the idea. Everybody does much better Skeletor impressions than I do. But I always toy with the idea of just getting the evil horde in whatever line because I thought they were really cool. And there's a little bit of Hordak coming out. Who doesn't love Hordak? Wreck Ship. Number 1, Quick Kick. Number 2, Vamp and Clutch. Number 3, Mutton Junkyard. Number 4, Big Boa. Number 5, 60th Action Soldier. Yeah, their soldiers look really cool. I wish they'd come with some extras. Well, I was going to say extra stuff. They came with a lot of extra stuff. I wish they'd come with some extra hands, but everything else you said, I haven't seen anybody say anything bad about any of those. Like the Vamp, I did see Veeb struggling putting it together. So, yeah, and I know that the Vamp isn't perfect, it sounds like, but it's really good. Like, it looks totally like G.I. Joe to me, and that's the big selling point. Plus, it's based off a vehicle that was designed by Lamborghini for the military. Who doesn't want a Lambo as far as, you know, a military vehicle? Probably me. It would have to be a straight up, just totally paved road that the war would be happening on, which means nobody could use any kind of missiles or bombs. And that probably wouldn't do a whole lot. Everybody, can you imagine a big war where everybody's just driving Lambos? What they would have to do is get somebody to raise them and put just huge tires on them. They'd basically be monster trucks with Lambo bodies. There it is. That's how we solve the big war problem with Lambos. You're welcome. All right. So yeah, Quick Kick, I definitely need. The Vamp, I would like to get at least a version of the Vamp. It might be the Stinger, but we'll see. We'll see what I can find later on. Mutton Junkyard, Yeah, I need Mutton Junkyard. Big Boa, I need Big Boa. Basically, you've hit all the figures that I need to get. Aside from Jinx, I need to get her, but then she's not out yet. Retro Duke is a necessity. Scarlet's a necessity. Oh boy. Good thing I'm starting to get a few more clients. Mr. Spencer, I'm not sure my bottom figure from this year, but the worst one I've opened this year was Secret Invasion Nick Fury. Obi Nobi. Oh man. Yeah. What's his deal? Is he kind of a, like Robo would say, he's got the traffic cone thing, like do his legs not move? Does he just not look good? I mean, it kind of sucks because Secret Invasion Nick Fury is dressed all in black, so he should be a great figure for photography, but he's probably not crazy well articulated because of the coat he has to wear, if I'm picturing the correct figure. Marvel Legends comes out with a lot of stuff that I don't always pay attention to. See, Airborne is my favorite classified of the year so far, but the Vamp is awesome. So basically what you're saying is I am indeed a chump for having missed out on the Vamp. That's what I'm getting from this chat. Might need to make some adjustments there. We'll see. Hopefully they come out with another run. But even if they don't, the Stinger will definitely happen. And the Stinger, I'm thinking, needs to be mine. Just maybe they could even paint it so it could be part of his team. In fact, it was pretty much just black and red, wasn't it? Like there was just gray on the inside, I think. So yeah, it could totally roll with the Hiss. See, legs don't move due to coat, and his proportions just look odd. He was worth the $5 I paid for him, but full price would be tragic. You know, $5, I'm okay with that. I mean, it sucks that I didn't think one problem that I don't tend to have with Legends, like the recent Magneto, the M Magneto seems to have really long arms, and the Magneto and the both of them, basically both Magnetos from the Toon line, X-Men 97, seem to have really long arms. But that's the first time I've noticed crazy weird proportions with Legends, so it's too bad that you got one that the proportions look a little odd. Of my Legends complaints, proportions don't tend to be one of them. Let's see, can't wait for the Stinger. Yeah, it's going to look good. It's going to look good for show. I'm going to need that thing. And it'll have a driver. So I'll be adding on to my Cobra army, who, of course, the driver might not come with extra hands. So maybe I'll get the Stinger and be adding on to one of your Cobra armies. Be like, all right, guys, I love the Stinger, but the Stinger driver has to go. No extra hands. There are rules that one must abide by, that one being me. Mr. Spencer, I need to pick up Goblin Queen from the X-Men 97 line. In addition to looking good, I'll need the baby for this year's action figure nativity display. Huh. I wouldn't have thought of that. That would be pretty sweet. But yeah, the baby will work. Probably don't want the Goblin Queen herself in a nativity display. By the way, I did see episode 3. It felt like they crammed a lot into episode 3. I mean, maybe it was a necessity. Maybe they have a lot more story to tell as the season progresses. But it did feel like there was a lot of stuff there. But it still felt resolved. And I do love that they're keeping up. You know what? I don't know who all seen it, and I didn't ask, so I'm not going to give up any kind of spoiler there. But I'm still digging the show. I'm still happy with X-Men 97. Let's see. Rules are for breaking. Stop it. In every other aspect of my life, I'm totally down with that. But when it comes to the figures, there's so much good that I've got to have rules, or the place is just going to be a mess. A mess is in figures from everywhere that I wouldn't use normally. It would be rough. It would be insanity. It would be fun, though. So there is that. But yeah, I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, I can't really talk X-Men X-Men 97, episode 3. Is anybody okay? I don't even know that I want to ask this, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Is everybody keeping up with the Bad Batch? Has anybody been watching that? Because right now I'm into two shows. I'm into season 3, the final season of Bad Batch, and I'm into obviously season 1 of X-Men 97. And basically that's an hour worth of TV I need to watch, and then I'm pretty much good to go. I just listen to YouTube while I'm working aside from that. But yeah, just curious if anybody else is watching Bad Batch. I'm not hearing a lot of people talk about it. Nope, I dropped off after last season. You dropped off like Tick? Oh, that wasn't nice. Poor Tech. Let's see. I ejected after season 4 of the Clone Wars. Oh, man. Okay, hold on. I get that. Well, which one was season 4? I'm trying to remember how that ended. Okay. Season 5, awesome. Season 6, I think was supposed to be the last season, but it felt like kind of a filler closing the gap like season. It felt like a weird season. You could probably get away without watching tons of season 6. Season 7 is really good. In fact, forget don't even listen to me on anything before this last part, all right? So watch, it's either the last 3 or the last 4. I think it's the last 4 episodes of season 7. And you might get, like I've heard some people say, if they ever turn that into a movie, forget that. If you watch those episodes that totally tie together, they tie into Revenge of the Sith and all that stuff, you watch those episodes, you've got one of the best Star Wars movies that's ever been made. So skip 5, skip 6, skip 7 until, let's see, I think it's episode 9 or episode 10, somewhere in there. Old Friends Long Forgotten or something like that. Check those episodes out. They're pretty incredible. Yeah, I watched this week's episode. Not thrilled about it, to be honest. No spoilers, but yeah, that's kind of why I asked it how I did, is it hasn't been, to be honest, aside from the first season, I didn't think last season's was that great. Although I understood what they were doing, they had to keep giving Tech a lot more personality for the finale so that we don't miss him. So I got that. But it still just didn't feel as much fun. And I think that's something that maybe Lucasfilm has forgotten Star Wars and basically all their other franchises are supposed to be, is fun. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it ends. I am curious about that. I want to know if any of them survive. My gut is no, except for Omega. But that's how they've got me. Is I'm not even thrilled with what I'm watching right now, but it's not bad. And I'm going to be the guy that's going to see it through to the end no matter what. So hopefully they don't make me regret it too badly. See, I've been watching Shogun. Man, is Shogun on Hulu? I've heard really good things about Shogun. I need to check that out. Let's see, The Gentleman. What is The Gentleman? I don't know. I just binged Reacher. Reacher was fun. Let's see, Clone Wars got really good. Yeah. Like those last, I think it's 4 episodes. It might be 3, but I think it's 4 of season 7 where it was incredible. Mr. Spencer, honestly, the Clone Wars have been hyped up for me and fell well short of expectations. Some good, lots of bad. I get that. I do. But seriously, watch those last 4 episodes. I think it is 4 of season 7. In fact, hold on. Let me look up the episode list right now because I want to make sure, like, because I get what you're saying, so I don't want you to be like to start in the bad spot or to start in the middle of this. Uh, Season 7, Clone Wars episodes. Here we go. I'll recognize it by name. Yeah, start with episode 9, and it is 4. So start with episode 9, 10, 11, 12. You put those together, and you really do get a great Star Wars movie. Especially because I assume, I mean, if you dropped out after season 4 of Clone Wars, you obviously know Revenge of the Sith, and this does tie into that some. It was really good. Like, and I don't want to overhype it, so never mind. It was kind of okay, but you should watch it anyway. How's that for not overhyping? Buttons. All right. The first season of Rebels was hard to get through, but I enjoyed the rest. The Darth Maul Obi-Wan scene was awesome, man. Oh, that was fantastic. And I've seen it analyzed by so many people as to why it happened the way it did. It basically, from what I understand from checking out the analysis, it boils down to Obi-Wan learned, Darth Maul didn't. And yeah, it was good. Just that scene was almost enough. But you're right. The first season was tough to get through. I did not at all like the art style. And when I heard that Disney just didn't give it a whole lot of budget, it made sense as to why the art style was what it was. But Clone Wars looked so much better that it was a departure from it and everything else. I did enjoy Rebels, thankfully, because of the story. Art was tough, but the story was awesome. Wreck Ship. Me and my wife were super confused about what happened in this week's episode based on previously established Disney Star Wars canon and other media. Yeah, I've heard that. I didn't read. I don't think Filoni pays attention to anything that isn't movies or shows. So that kind of takes care of what you're talking about. On the other hand, I did read that the season would address what you're talking about. So maybe there's something that is said that makes everything okay, or something that's shown that makes everything okay. I know what you're talking about, though. Hopefully, they make that work for everybody. I know that there was something in the Ahsoka book that Filoni just totally dismissed when he was doing something with her character. So I really just think he doesn't pay attention, and then somebody's got to come out and say, "Whoa, Dave, hold on. We did say this, so maybe we need to make a tweak here or there." And that's not a shot. I do tend to like Filoni. His live action stuff, I think he needs to get a little better at it. Let's see. What I have been rewatching is Leverage. Good fun. I don't think I ever saw Leverage. Man, there's too much. I don't know. Let's see. The Gentleman was a movie in 2019 and a Netflix series 2024. I was talking about the series, but both are good and made by the same person. Same universe, different stories. Cool. I might check that out. I know, what is it? I've got to check. I do have to check Shogun out. A buddy of mine was telling me about a show, Halo. He was saying Halo's actually good. He said that you got to get past the fact that like the first 2 seasons are actually setting up what we see in the video game. But he says you get past that fact, you understand they're building the story behind all that, and then towards the end of season 2, it sounds like we finally get what Master Chief is supposed to be. So I've been thinking about checking Halo out too. But the Gentleman that might be something to check. Gunstar. Oh, yeah, Leverage was a great show. I concur. All right, Leverage, The Gentleman, Halo. Of course, we know how good I've been when it comes to watching all the old stuff. We'll see what I can do. Let's see. No, Halo is not good. That was his caveat when he was explaining it to me. He's like, it's a good show. I think basically what he was trying to say is it's a good show if you forget it's Halo, and then at the end of season 2, it finally becomes Halo. Like maybe it's the way I understood it is maybe it's building up the characters a little bit so you care a little more about them in the show. But, but I do love takes such as that with Mr. Manson because that tends to be how I am when I'm telling people how good something is. Like a buddy of mine asks me something, I'm like, no, just no. Mr. Spencer, Halo is good sci-fi, but not necessarily good Halo. I enjoyed season 1, and that's what my buddy was saying. He's kind of like, yeah, just forget that it's Halo, and it sounds like in season 3 it becomes Halo. 3 Body Problem is good. What's that one on? Like, okay, Shogun is Hulu, I think. I think Halo is Prime. I still haven't seen season 3 of The Boys, and we're looking at season 4 coming out. Good Lord. This is me needing to find time to watch all these things. But upon everybody's suggestions, at least it sounds like there are some good things out there to watch. From time to time, it feels like there's so much stuff coming out that none of it can possibly be good because it feels like just content for content's sake. Yes, this has turned into a television discussion. Halo is Paramount Plus. 3 Body Problem is Netflix. Okay, cool. Thanks. I've got Netflix. I don't have Paramount. I'm wondering if anybody's going to have Paramount here in the future. Sounds like they're having trouble. Netflix. Let's see. Hard sci-fi, 3 Body Problem. Got it. Okay. Cool beans. Cool beans. All right, guys. Well, that's what I've got for this one. I've got to get going because I've got to plan out how I'm going to be doing my shooting tomorrow when it comes to things. Hopefully, I'll actually be able to get some action figure shots in as well. So, thanks as always for stopping by. Love these discussions. Love hearing all the good figures that are out there because it's going to help me make some decisions. So, until next time, have fun. Happy snapping. See ya. Weird face.